Welcome to the SmartKeys podcast. We're opening the vault today for a deep dive into a really foundational resource for the modern entrepreneur, the Solopreneur Productivity Playbook by Felix Romer of smartkeys.org.
Yeah, and this isn't just another book on time management. This is more of a comprehensive strategy guide. It's tailored for you, the person who's wearing every single hat, CEO, marketer, sales lead,
And delivery specialist all at once. Our goal here is to really extract the actionable strategic insights that, stop the chaos, the things that prevent that catastrophic burnout and turn a fragmented day into a reliable, repeatable system.
Exactly. For high output. And what's really clear, I think, from the material is that the success of this whole thing, it really hinges on mastering just 3 core habits. It's not about complexity.
Right. It's about high leverage simplicity.
Precisely. If you, as the solopreneur, can just nail these 3 things, you dramatically change your entire operating rhythm.
Okay, so what are they?
First, you establish a nightly routine to plan tomorrow, tonight. Second, you have to rigorously protect a daily 90-minute deep work bout.
And third,
A 5-minute weekly review. Simple as that. You master those, and you really have the foundation for a sustainable business and a calmer life.
okay, let's unpack that strategic foundation first. Because the playbook argues that productivity struggles often start at the macro level, right?
Yeah, that's it. If you don't have a clear structure, all the inevitable urgent small tasks, emails, admin, quick client demands, they just consume your big important goals.
And you end up busy all day, but somehow stalled on the big projects.
That's the feeling. It's like running on a hamster wheel. So the first strategic move is to create clear direction before you even glance at a to-do list. The playbook calls this locking in a monthly beacon.
That sounds compelling, but what does that actually look like for a solopreneur who has 10 things they need to get done this month?
It means ruthless prioritization. The monthly beacon isn't some fuzzy aspiration. It has to be a single, measurable, non-negotiable outcome.
So like hitting a revenue target, or maybe a product launch.
Exactly. Is it hitting a specific revenue target? Completing the wireframes for the new launch, successfully onboarding 2 new clients. By committing to that one beacon, you create a kind of gravitational pull for all your weekly planning.
So it's a defense mechanism, really, against that shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
If a project doesn't move me toward that beacon, I have a real strategic reason to say no, or at least defer it.
Exactly. It gives you the filter. And once that beacon is set, you build your schedule using what's called the top-down calendar model. This is where most people get it wrong. They schedule projects first and then, fit their life into the leftovers.
And this framework just flips that completely. You schedule based on a clear hierarchy of importance, with business tasks actually coming in last.
It's all about maximizing energy and protecting relationships. You start by blocking time for people. Family commitments, top clients, essential calls.
Okay, people first.
Then you add personal commitments, fitness, walks, actual recovery time. Only after those foundational blocks are protected do you map in your projects.
Wait, okay. For a solopreneur trying to grow, blocking recovery time first, that feels like a huge risk. It feels like prioritizing jogging over client outreach. How does the playbook justify that?
Because without that personal block, your performance is just unsustainable. The playbook insists that your energy is your single most valuable resource. If you let your recovery time get squeezed out by urgent emails, you pretty much guarantee burnout and lower quality work.
So the calendar becomes your one source of truth, not just a list of suggestions. If it says 6 p.m. shutdown, you treat it like a client meeting.
You have to. And that structural protection then leads directly to creating the focus time you need, the space and pace approach.
Which is all about building buffers in your day.
That's right. It's building resistance to context switching, deliberately leaving white space in your schedule. And the centerpiece of all this structured time is the 90-minute deep work bout.
Why 90 minutes specifically?
Well, research suggests 90 minutes is the natural length of our ultradian rhythm. It's the period where the brain is most capable of peak concentration before needing a real rest. You find your peak energy window, whether that's 9 a.m. or 2 p.m., and you reserve that time. Treat it like a non-negotiable client meeting. Notifications off, door closed. That's where you move the needle on your monthly beacon.
Right. It's the difference between doing scattered work and doing compounding work. Those bouts, repeated daily, are what stop you from being perpetually stalled. So if the macro strategy gives us direction, the daily toolkit is where the rubber meets the road. Let's zoom in on that. The playbook insists on this 10-minute nightly shutdown routine.
This habit is so deceptive in its simplicity. Many solopreneurs, they finish the workday exhausted, leave their desk a mess, and then they wake up already anxious because their brain is holding on to all those open loops. The shutdown routine is it's cognitive offloading.
But the friction point I hear most often is, I'm already slammed. Why add another 10 minutes of work at the end of the day?
Because those 10 minutes will save you an hour of painful indecision the next morning. The routine is quick, you check off finished items, you capture any open loops, and this is the crucial step, you name tomorrow's single true priority. Just one thing, tied to the monthly beacon.
That focus gives you instant momentum. You don't start the day wondering, you start the day executing.
Exactly. And once you start, you structure the day by your energy levels, matching tasks to your available brain power. The system has 3 levels. You've got bouts.
The 90-minute strategic deep work.
Right. Then you have blocks, which are 1 to 2 hour windows for delivery, admin sprints, client calls, and finally bursts. These are short 15 to 30-minute periods for your low-energy thoughts. Perfect for clearing small emails or filing. You don't waste your peak power on shallow chores.
Now, when the inevitable task avalanche hits, we need an elimination strategy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Eisenhower Matrix. Our listeners are knowledgeable, so we don't need to define the 4 boxes, but let's focus on the solopreneur's specific challenge with it.
Okay, yeah. That specific challenge lives almost entirely in quadrant 3. Urgent, but not important. For a big company, these tasks, routine scheduling, formatting emails, they go to an assistant. For the solopreneur, they land right on their desk.
So if the rule for quadrant 3 is delegate, and you have no one to delegate to, what does the playbook advise?
Immediate automation or ruthless elimination. If you can't automate a repetitive, low-value task, you have to ask if it's even necessary. Or can it be batched and tackled during a low-energy burst instead of interrupting your deep work? The insight here is that you have to treat quadrant 3 tasks as potential time bankruptcy.
That shift in perspective viewing Q3 tasks as a threat is powerful. I love the quote that summarizes it. Do the important now, move the rest into a plan, or let it go.
And to support that high-focus work, the playbook talks about timed sprints like a customized Pomodoro. You're not stuck with the 25-minute interval.
Right, the flexibility is key.
Totally. You might use a 90-minute deep work bout with a 20-minute break for heavy creative work, or a quick 20-minute sprint with a 5-minute break to power through emails. You match the interval to the task, not just the clock. It makes the technique a tool, not a cage.
This brings us to how we leverage tools and systems. The biggest pitfall for the solopreneur is tool fatigue, right? That feeling you spend more time managing your productivity systems than actually being productive.
Absolutely. And the playbook's advice is kind of counterintuitive for our tech-obsessed world. You need a lean stack. The mantra is one hub, one calendar, one capture system. Too many tools create cognitive overhead. Use something like Asana or Trello for your project hub, backlog, doing, done, simple.
And the visible calendar like Google Calendar is non-negotiable. Not just for meetings, but for protecting every single deep work block you've scheduled.
And that's where this hybrid approach is so smart. While your digital stack handles archiving and sync, the playbook sees the value in analog planning. Using paper or a whiteboard to clarify your single priority for the day. That physical act, it reduces screen fatigue and forces clarity.
Speaking of clarity, let's talk about the absolute essential technique for efficiency, batching.
The great context-switching killer. Solopreneurs interrupt a creative task to answer an email, then interrupt that email to post on social media. Each switch costs you.
So batching just means grouping similar tasks. All emails at noon and 4 p.m., for example.
Yes. Schedule all social media content Monday afternoon. Handle all invoicing on Friday morning. By tackling shallow work in concentrated bursts, you clear the decks for your real work.
Okay, so once you've batched, the final frontier is reclaiming time through automation and delegation.
This is critical, and you have to view it as an investment, not an expense. Look at automation first. Anything repeatable, syncing contacts, sending invoices should go to tools like Zapier or IFTTT.
But what about the context-heavy work, the Q3 stuff that needs a human brain?
Right, that's where delegation comes in. Usually hiring a virtual assistant. Things like triaging an inbox, preparing research summaries, formatting templates, it all boils down to the core message. Every hour you automate or delegate is an hour you can spend on higher value work. You're essentially buying back your deep work time.
And to make sure this whole system doesn't stagnate, you need the feedback loop, the weekly review.
This is where you refine the process. The playbook keeps it simple. A 5-minute check your wake review. It just answers 3 questions. What got done? What dragged? What were the wins?
Okay, so what are the simple, actionable metrics a solopreneur should track in that 5-minute window?
You track inputs and outputs. For inputs, track your deep work meter. How many of those 90-minute bouts did you actually achieve this week?
Got it. And for outputs?
For outputs, track the deliverable completion rate. How many weekly tasks tied to your beacon were completed? And crucially, an energy score. Just a simple 1 to 5 self-assessment. If your deep work meter is low, or your energy score is consistently 3 or less, the system is failing and you need to adjust for next week.
We've covered a tremendous amount of ground here, from the macro structure down to daily execution. Let's bring it back to those 3 core habits Felix Romer says deliver the most durable gains.
It's all about building a reliable rhythm. If you take nothing else away, focus on these 3 things. 1, plan tomorrow tonight with that 10-minute routine. 2, protect your 1 90-minute deep work bout every single day, no matter what. And 3, do that 5-minute weekly review. Track your bouts and your energy.
And what underpins all of this is energy protection. The source material is so clear on this. Sustained performance is fueled by life outside the desk. You have to guard your movement breaks, your shutdown times, your recovery, just as fiercely as you guard your deep work.
Yeah, solopreneurship often rewards the hustle, but the playbook proves the long game rewards the sustainable system. Those firm shutdown times prevent the next day's sluggishness, those productivity hangovers that just kill your momentum.
So if you are currently overwhelmed, juggling all those functions, marketing, sales, admin, delivery, remember this final thought. By implementing these small, steady steps, especially setting that single monthly beacon and consistently showing up for that 1 daily deep work bout, you move beyond just managing tasks. You establish a reliable, high-output rhythm that keeps the business moving forward while protecting your time and your sanity. Start by blocking that first 90-minute deep work bout for tomorrow, and treat that block like the most valuable client you've ever booked.